slaves here, that slaves were once given shelter. Famous abolitionists, including Frederick Douglass, met, and the Emancipation Proclamation was joyously celebrated. When the mob, which was angry at the Gibbons family because of their abolitionist views, tried to destroy it during the Draft Riots of 1860, the family escaped by running over the once level rooftops of the neighboring row houses. Fast forward to 2013, and the house is once again imperiled by the possibility that the Board of Standards and Appeals will let the current owner retain his illegal fifth story, which not only disfigures it, but obscures the dramatic events that transpired there. Given that the owner's building permit and waiver to expand the building were invalid, that the bulk of the building was completed after it was landmarked, not before, as he claims, and that he committed fraud in spades, I might say, this addition must come down now. I'd also like to quote from a letter of support written by Rob Rapley, who is the writer, producer, and director of PBS's The Abolitionists. And he wrote to us saying that the abolitionists who stayed here created a movement that paved the way for Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. It was the sacrifice of abolitionist supporters like James Sloan Gibbons and his wife, Abigail Hopper Gibbons, who would put their own lives at risk to help the cause that allowed their success. It is my hope that the Department of Buildings and Landmarks Preservation Commission preserve this architectural treasure and protect it for generations to come.
And I'm Julianne Finch, co-chair of the Friends of the Underground Railroad site. I'm pointing to the Historic District marker up here, and it says that the Draft Rioters lynched 11 to 30 people, black people, in this city in 1863. This former route, 339, is why this Lamartine Place Historic District was created. The roof of 339 is historic and must be restored. On his 2009 PAA application to the DOD, the developer pretended it would be a 4-story building. He pretended he was abiding by the second audit by only submitting plans for a 4-story building. How did the scofflaw developer owner get new permits after he failed 2 DOB audits? How did he submit his paperwork to the BSA for the first of 3 hearings? He did the same thing every time. He committed fraud. He left off the page with the 5th floor plan. But he was secretly constructing a 5th floor on top of this historic roof. When he submitted his plans to the Board of Standards and Appeals, the BSA, he left off the page with the 5th floor. This 5th floor was his secret. It was hidden from the DOB inspectors, from the DOB auditors, from the BSA staff. It was hidden in plain sight. This 5th floor was secretly being built in 2010 after the building was landmarked. Finally, in November of 2010, he failed his 3rd DOB audit, and the DOB told him to tear it down. The 5th floor must be demolished. The developer owner has played 3-card Monty. He must not get rewarded by having his variance approved by the BSA. It is double dealing. It is a self-created hardship that must be demolished. The next speaker is Assemblyman Richard Gottfried, who has helped us for 5 years.
Well, thank you. We are here today largely because of the extraordinary work that Fern and Julie have done, without which this building would have been long ago utterly defaced and ruined. 150 years ago, this building and this row of historic houses survived the Draft Riots. The building had been what, as far as we know, is the one station on the Underground Railroad, part of the network that helped fugitive slaves being homeless. In the last several years, while this owner was trying to deface and effectively destroy the historic character of this building, fortunately, the City Department of Buildings and the Landmarks Preservation Commission have come to rescue this building and say no to the work that the owner is trying to do, and to, in fact, to order him to restore the building to its original condition. That's what we want. This week, the Board of Standards and Appeals, which is the appeal body that owners can go to, will be ruling on the owner's request to allow him to disregard the law and to continue his lawless desecration of this building. Law-abiding New Yorkers and New Yorkers who care about our culture and our history and what the city stands for should not have to stand by and watch this owner profit by desecrating what New York City stands for. And so we are urging the Board of Standards and Appeals to stand up for the law and say no to the desecration of the Hopper Gibbons House.
And the next speaker is State Senator Finch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julie, and thank you, Fern, and for all of your efforts. You know, I'm here standing on the shoulders of Kit Godfrey and our other local representatives, the British Village Society for Historic Preservation, Andrew Berman, and Historic District Council, who've been fighting for 5 years, as we said, to make certain that this building is preserved as it should be. I want to acknowledge Alessandro for his amazing a cappella work. A round of applause for him. Yay! You know, even Beyonce sings with a tape recorded. So you did a fantastic job in this cold weather. You know, the issue here, to me, is really the rule of law. And as the BSA determines the legality of this edition, it's deliciously ironic that it's happening on February 12th, which is the birthday of Abraham Lincoln. And it was no less than Abraham Lincoln who said, and I'll quote, "Let reverence for the laws be breathed by every American mother. To the lisping babe that prattles on her lap, let it be taught in schools, in seminaries, and in colleges. Let it be written in primers, spelling books, and in almanacs. Let it be preached from the pulpit, proclaimed in legislative halls, and enforced in courts of justice. And in short, let it become the political religion of the nation. And let the old and the young, the rich and the poor, the grave and the gay, of all sexes and tongues, in colors and conditions, sacrifice unceasingly upon its altars." And friends, it is the rule of law that is so important. And we urge that the Board of Standards and Appeals not legalize this illegal addition, but enforce the rule of law and make it come down. So I join with everyone here today and urge that this addition must come down. Whoa, thank you so much.
The next speaker is Councilman Gianni Williams.
Thank you, Julie and Fern and everyone else who has worked on this. It's cold and I'm coming all the way from Brooklyn, but it's very important to me. And I know that Speaker Quinn is also supportive of taking this down, would have been here, and I'm in her district, so I want to make sure I give her a shout, and one of her schedule she would be here. I also sit on a landmarks committee, and I was proud to vote for this landmark designation, one of the first things I did as a council member. It's unfortunate to me because growing up, I always felt like the history of African Americans and black history in general wasn't felt to be as important as it should be. And when in college they found the African burial ground downtown Brooklyn, downtown Manhattan, there had to be a fight just to get them to stop desecrating the bones of the people who were there. Just recently, again, the city tried to sell off a building that was attached to the African burial ground, and if it wasn't for